That's the green sign. That's once there's no, like when the light turns off or anything, you will see that sign. So I'm going to start the procedure now. คุณวิมล ลุมพิกานนท์ Director of International Administration Unit Acting Director of Bureau of International Cooperation Office of the Permanent Secretary Ministry of Education Dr. ลาลิวัน กาญจนาจารี President of English Speaking Union Thailand English Speaking Union Thailand Dr. ชวีวัน Guraniti Chairs of English Speaking Union Thailand Member of English Speaking Union Thailand Honorable guests Honorable judges Teachers Students Ladies and gentlemen Welcome you all to Thailand Final Round Public Speaking Competitions 2025 My name is Pratunam and I am delighted to be your Master of Ceremony for this year's competition. The theme of the competition this year is Unity to be real, must stand the sovereign strain without breaking. I find this is a very interesting theme and I am sure that we all would love to hear the thoughts from our contestants and more regarding to the theme. So before we go into listen to our contestants, which is coming from 7 schools around Thailand, to share their ideas about the theme of this year's competition, I would like to invite Dr. Chaviwan Puraniti, the Chairperson of English Speaking Union of Thailand on the stage to give the welcome remarks as well as to announce the purpose of the competitions. Please welcome Dr. Chaviwan on the stage.
Dr. ลาลิวัน กาญจนาจารี President of ESU Thailand คุณพรเสน กาญจนาจารี Founder of ESU Thailand Professor สุชัชวี สุวรรณสวัสดิ์ Founder of King มงกุฎเจ้าคุณฐาน Hospital Foundation under the patronage of the Supreme Patriarch. Due to the Bangkok earthquake situation, unfortunately, he is not unable to be here since he has all interviews engagement. So you all here will see him on the video instead. Mr. Peter Schuller, Honorary Advisor to ESU Thailand and partner of KSS Company Limited. Unfortunately again, he is now yesterday has a minor surgery. So today he will not here again. คุณพินวรัตน์ เมืองมินPast Director of Strategy and International Information Unit, Bureau of International Cooperation, Ministry of Education, Honorable Judges, ESU Thailand Board Members, Sponsors, Teachers, Students, Ladies and Gentlemen. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege and pleasure as Chairman of the English Speaking Union Association of Thailand, or ESU, to welcome you on behalf of ESU and the Ministry of Education to the 2025 final of Thailand's annual public speaking competition. I thank all of you for attending and also thank who have been involved in today's proceedings for your competition. After my opening remarks, There will be a short video presentation to give you more information on both ESU United Kingdom and ESU Thailand. For those of you unfamiliar with the organization, it was founded in England in 1918 as an international non-profit and non-political charitable organization to promote international understanding and human achievement through the use of the English language. The English-speaking union is now present in more than 50 countries worldwide, including Thailand. At the stage of the 21st century, English is positioned as the increasingly shared medium of communication in our independent planet. For millions, it is the key to personal achievement in the arts, business, science, politics, technology, and all other fields of human endeavor. ESU Thailand was organized in 1999 by Kun Phonse and Dr. Raniwan Karnachari. They were prompted to do so by their belief that English language ability is a key to success for younger generations, enabling them to discover their voices, to strive, remain competitive globally, and accomplish their goals in life. Furthermore, this belief was the initiation of this competition more than 2 decades. And as a result of the joint efforts of the Ministry of Education and ESU Thailand, the competition has 3 overall objectives: to give young people practical experience in the fundamental skills of speaking publicly in the English language, to give students from a variety of backgrounds a chance to meet, exchange views, and form friendships, to provide a focus for the learning of effective English and communication skills among young people. Today's event would not have been possible, but the involvement of the Ministry of Education for its generous contribution to the success of the 2025 National Public Speaking Competition, and without whose leadership and guidance we cannot and would not be here. Today we witness the culmination of the competition to select Thailand's representative to the international finals of the English-speaking Union's International Public Speaking Competition. Today's winner will join the competition to be held in May this year in London, where our winner will compete with representatives from 52 countries. Participants in the international finals will be assigned to prepare a speech on a topic to be designated with the winner of each heat. Advancing to the grand final, we wish today's winner all the best in the international finals. There would be no competition if there were no speakers. We are most particularly grateful for the excellence of the 8 participants who had prompted to be the opportunity to participate in the forthcoming international public speaking competition in London. In closing, for additional big thank you. First, thanks to the students whose participation makes this competition possible. Second, thanks to our honorable judges who will have the unevitable task of electing today's winner. Third, thank you to our sponsors, without whose support this event would not be possible. And last but not least, our gratitude to you, the audience, who come to support and in the solely give today's competition under title, Unity to be real must stand the severest strains without breaking. From our talented students and the inspired video from Professor Suchachawi Suwansawat, who will be our keynote speaker today. Thank you very much.
English is spoken by over 1 billion people worldwide. It is the international language of business, travel and technology, and offers different races and cultures a means of communication. What is the ESU? The English-Speaking Union, or ESU, is an international organisation founded in England in 1918. Originally to help bind together the English-speaking peoples of the British Commonwealth and the USA. After the ESU was granted a Royal Charter in 1957. Today, the ESU has Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II as the patron and His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, as the President. Its global head office is at Dartmouth House in London, and its activities have spread to more than 50 countries. The ESU is an independent, non-political educational charity under the patronage of Her Majesty the Queen, and ESU's purpose is now to promote international understanding and human achievement through the widening use of English as the language of our global village. The importance of English in Thailand. In Thailand, English does not only seem to be our second language, but also a basic part of the curriculum for education. Many young Thais study and develop their skills by practicing English through the media. They try to improve their English at an international level so that they can interact with people from other cultures. The formation of ESU Thailand. ESU Thailand came about when Kumpon Satkan Chanachari met with Mr. and Mrs. Jim Chance in London. Mr. Chance is the chairman of the ESU Worcestershire branch in England. Mr. and Mrs. Chance's enthusiasm and Kumpon Sat's awareness of the increasing importance of English in Thailand led them to conclude that a Thai branch of the ESU should be established. ESU Thailand was registered as a non-profit association in September 2000 and is a part of the worldwide network of the English-speaking Union. Objectives of ESU Thailand. The main objectives of ESU Thailand are to promote international understanding and friendship through the use of English as the language of our global world. Promote secondary and tertiary students in representing Thailand in the International English Public Speaking Competition in England. Upgrade the English proficiency of people to be able to speak English fluently and to use English as a means to facilitate faster communication through media. What does ESU Thailand do? ESU Thailand pursues its objectives through activities under the general headings of educational, cultural and current affairs, and works through a variety of programs and activities. Prominent among its activities is the National English Public Speaking Competition for secondary and university level students, which ESU Thailand and the Ministry of Education have jointly organised since the year 2000. In 2006, ESU Thailand initiated the ESU Drama Competition for secondary school level students in cooperation with the Ministry of Education to further encourage use of the English language while providing students with the opportunity to demonstrate their acting talents and build self-confidence. Activities such as these make an immeasurable contribution to our society in Thailand by preparing us to participate in an ever-increasingly independent world. We welcome everyone to join our organisation.
Right, and I have to thank you very much, Dr. Shaviwan, for the welcome remarks. Next on our agenda, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker. Professor Dr. Suchatchavi Suwannasawat is a prominent figure in the fields of engineering and education in Thailand. He is the founder of the King Mongkut Chakuntahan Hospital Foundation, which operates under the patronage of the Supreme Patriarch. Highlighting his commitment to the healthcare and community service, in addition, Professor Dr. Suchatchavi serves as the Chairman of Board of Trustees at CMKL University. It's the institution that collaboration between Carnegie Mellon University and King Mongkut's Institute of Technology Lat Krabang aim at fostering innovations and excellence in technology and engineering in education. With a strong academic background in engineering, Professor Dr. Suchatchavi also has a passion of literature, evidenced by his published works. His dual expertise allow him to bridge between the technical knowledge and the creative expression, enriching the education landscape in Thailand. Unfortunately, he wouldn't be able to join us today. However, he graciously sent us the video message. So let us have a moment and enjoy his insights together.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Professor Suchatchavi Suwannasawat. First of all, I love to support this amazing event together with amazing people like you all. But however, I cannot be there because, as you know, unfortunately, earthquake happened in Thailand that caused a lot of disaster. Not just only in some area, but also cause scare among people over the place. This is my duty as a professional engineer that I must offer my help to the public. This is the real world case study, not only for me, but to you too. I have been interviewed by hundreds media at the location, on site. I never know what's going on, what they're gonna hit me with any question. So I have to be careful what I say. Of course, I have to tell the fact and have to be the fact only as a professional engineer, and also respect people. However, so I must have solid knowledge, and of course, together with to be cautious. Again, so you have to respond in writing. They will send you some meat that a lady among all the media. They hit me with a crazy question. That I'm shocked, of course. That I have to pull myself together, control myself, and have to answer. Oh, thank God I'm survived. This is my real life experience. So what I'm saying is from my passion. It's much better than my English. You see, I have broken English. But you say what the language you say, what the fans see, what you want to tell people. The most important that you have form your knowledge. That is very important. And then you have to control yourself well. Because you never know what the question will come to hit you, and maybe it hit you hard. And in the era of social media, when you say something wrong, even you not say intentionally, it may cause a lot of trouble to you and maybe the people to talk to you face to face. Thank you very much. Stay safe. ขอบคุณครับ
Professor Dr. Suchachari is actually sharing his own experience about how to be good in public speaking, and you have to also be impromptu as well. So this is the example of that. So next up in our agenda, may I invite the representative from English Speaking Union on the stage to present the gift to our sponsor. And that will be the representative from Bangkok Bank. May I welcome Bangkok Bank representative on the stage, please.
บังนี้ถ่ายข้าง
Please give them a round of applause.
ออกตรงกลางนะครับครับ
ดีเจเนี่ยดีเจ
ตรงกลางครับขอบคุณครับ
Next, the representative from Radisson Chateau de Bangkok. Next, the representative from Sunthorn Metal Industries. Next, the representative from Thai Yan Yun.
อาชีพในภาพ
ข
And last but not least, we don't have the representative from Krispy Kreme, but we would like to extend our thankfulness to Krispy Kreme as well. Thank you, Dr. Shaviwan. Pleasure to introduce you all to our remarkable individual who has demonstrated the exceptional talent and skill, Ms. Jasmine Sarah Duncan. She is the winner of Thailand Public Speaking Competition 2024, an achievement that highlights her dedication in art of public speaking. Today, Ms. Jasmine will be sharing her experiences and insights, offering us a glimpse into her journey and the skills that have led her to this prestigious prize. Her passion for communication and her ability to articulate her thoughts effectively made her an inspiring figure for all of us. Let us welcome Ms. Jasmine Sarah Duncan on the stage to share her valuable experience. Please join me in giving her a warm round of applause.
Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Sarah Duncan. I'm currently at Berkeley School in M6, and I was privileged last year to be chosen to represent Thailand in one of the world's most prestigious, if not the most prestigious for our age group, international English speaking competitions, ESU International. Over the next 5 to 10 minutes, I want to share with you my experience. I'm doing this to try and give the person who wins this year the chance to get a little bit of a head start. I cannot cover everything in this time, but whoever does win, make sure we exchange contacts before you leave, and we can chat anytime before you go. I will try and help you with the 1,000 questions that will come up over the next week. The journey. Whatever happens, it is going to be a truly exciting trip. I had a great help of organizing my trip from Kun Kesara, and it all went very smoothly. It was my first time traveling to the UK. I chose to travel with Qatar Airlines so that I could break my journey in half rather than flying 12 hours in one go. I got off halfway after 6 hours and walked around the airport for an hour to stretch my legs. Then it was 6 more hours to London. You can choose whatever you like if it fits in with the travel plan, making it flexible. Arriving at Heathrow Airport, it is a different world. It is very busy, but getting to central London is very easy. You can be in central London where your hotel will be 15 minutes on the Heathrow Express, which takes you straight to Paddington train station, and from there, a taxi to your hotel. You all know the Paddington train station, that's where Paddington Bear got his name. Competition preparation. This is my most important message. I practiced non-stop before I went. My speeches, my accent, my body language, and I know now that I was practicing the wrong things. Whoever wins today, take it from me, the judges have decided that you are the best in Thailand. You are good enough to be chosen to represent our country. That means the way you speak, your accent, your body language is already great. If any of those things need working on, the judges will tell you. I learned after being in the competition in London that there were 3 things I should have practiced and did not. Without practicing these 3 things, you have 0 chance of winning. The 3 things are questions, questions, and questions. Remember that. It is something we do not often do in Thai competitions that much. It is an afterthought. In an international English competition, it is the most important thing. It is an international competition. The judges expect you to have an accent, but not necessarily a perfect English accent. By this stage, if your body language is not natural, well, you wouldn't have been picked. Key points. Yes, we have to be confident. We have to speak loudly and clearly and not rush. But the most important part comes after your speech stops. Questions. You must give comprehensive, considerate answers to the judge's questions, not just a yes, no, or a thank you very much for that excellent question. Say what you think. Let the real you come out. In a way, we have to forget a little bit of our tiredness. We are competing against 30 people from all over the world, and they are not reserved or conservative. They say what they mean, and you must do the same. It's fun, and if you give a considered long answer, the judges will run out of time to ask you more questions. But don't repeat yourself, and do not use in words to fill in time. Give a good considered answer and then stop. Next, to have fun. Now here's the secret. When I went to London, I really went to win. I didn't just go thinking, wahoo, a free trip to London. I went there to win for our country, and I did not. That bothered me. I didn't even get to the final 6, but do you know who did? Every person who got through to the final 6, at one time or another in their lives, had taken part in debates. If you are at university, join your debating society. Even if it's in Thai language, people who practice debating know how to answer random questions in a thoughtful, challenging, considered way. If any Thai student can answer questions well and discuss ideas, they have as much chance as getting to the final 6. In fact, a better chance than 75% of the other competitors. Questions. That is the main point I want you to take away. Whoever wins here, that is the one way to raise your game to the international stage. The ability to answer questions well. Go and have fun, but go to win. If you can't go to win, then let someone else go who wants that. I believe over the years, nobody yet from Thailand has got in the final 6, including a lady I will mention shortly. ESU staff will take great care of you. To all the parents here, your children will be taken great care of, from check-in at the competitions to saying goodbye. You will do things many people in England have not done. You will eat out every night with all the participants, and ESU pays for it, and that is great. You will go to amazing places like the House of Lords. This has been the most senior seat of the British government for over 1,000 years. It started in the 11th century. It was here I met Lord Botan, the chairman of the World English Speakers Union. Take lots of photos, enjoy afternoon tea and cakes, and if you want anything from the House of Lords shop, then buy it, because you cannot get back in there unless you are invited by a British lord. I met this lady, Rebecca Preen. She is Thai and she represented Thailand in ESU some years ago. She now works in a successful law practice in the UK, and she is the deputy chair of ESU. Next, friends. You will make friends from every corner of the world, and even if you cannot take the winner's trophy back home, you will bring a network of global friends that will last you your lifetime if you keep in touch. Because you will all share one thing in common, the desire to be an international student who likes to compete. You will not make enemies, just friends. All of them want that winner's trophy, but they are friends. Next is the ESU Grand Final, and you will meet lots more great people. You will even walk in the hallowed halls of the Royal Institution. This is where the finals of ESU are held. It has been home to some of the world's most famous scientists, astronomers, philosophers, and authors. For the final, you will sit in the very same room where people like Michael Faraday, Carl Sagan, and David Attenborough have lectured. And if you are in the final 6, you will give your speech on the very same spot as those and many other great people. Go and enjoy and go to win. You can do it. Everyone gets the prize of friends that will last a lifetime. If anyone has any questions, just come up to me individually afterwards and ask. I will be here for the rest of the day. Good luck and thank you.
Maybe you can actually stay on the stage and perhaps like waiting for maybe Q&A. So if any of our 7 contestants would like to ask anything from Jasmine,
คำถามไหม
they're thinking because they don't think that they will ask questions today. So which part did you like the most for your trip to the competition?
The part I enjoyed most was meeting a lot of new people from all over the world and being able to experience the cultural diversity and share our experiences from our own countries and understand theirs.
So you already shared some tips, but what are the tips that you would like to share to our 7 contestants today?
Questions. The thing that I think is the most important, you have to really consider your answer and remember, if you speak, just don't repeat what you said before. Make sure to give a comprehensive answer, and if you speak for a long amount of time, the judges will run out of time to ask you more questions.
So what is the most challenging things you find when you go to this, like the round of the global round?
The most challenging thing I think was adapting to the stage of the international competition, because this was my first international competition, and before I only competed in competitions in Thailand, so going to London really was a whole new experience, and it opened up doors to more international competitions. But after a few days, I did adapt and I understand.
Okay, so I know that it's really kind of like exciting or sometimes stress. How did you deal with that kind of things?
Well, luckily for me, I had my family with me, so when I was stressed, I just talked to my family on the phone, and eventually I also opened up to my roommate, who became a very good friend of mine, and we still keep contact to this day.
Right, so how many friends did you make for this trip then?
Made friends with everyone who was in the competition. There were around 30 competitors last year, and I have all of their contacts.
That's great. Oh, so we have one person who would like to ask a question.
You said that like the longer that we answer the question, the less amount of time we said that the longer you answer the question, so the less amount of time that you will have to answer the other questions. Well, is that a good thing or a bad thing, in your opinion?
I think it is a good thing because when you answer the question, it will reach a point where the judges will just say, okay, thank you for your answer. And they will just stop you right there. And this is better rather than just answering yes and then a short answer, because the questions will keep coming and coming, and you have to think of new answers.
Thank you.
Is there any other? Now we have flooding of questions and nothing.
Is there a minimum amount of questions that have to be asked by the judges?
Normally there are around 2 to 3 questions that are asked by the judges, but depending on how long you answer, that's the amount of questions that will be asked.
Alright, thank you.
All right. Just in case that you guys have any more of the questions, you can actually keep it. Oh, we have the questions from one of members.
Yeah, Jasmine, I'm so proud of you because I'm a judge last year, and I find that you enjoy yourself so much. But what I like to know is, who is your favorite friends among all these countries that you were participating, And up to today, what kind of social media you are using for this communication among our friends?
My favorite friend was my roommate who was from China. Her name is Annie, and I communicate with her a lot on social media. The application we use is Instagram, as it is widely known now and it is popular. We use it to communicate very often, and I very appreciate her. She talks to me whenever she wants to, and it is very easy to communicate.
Jasmine, for sharing your really good and insightful information, and I hope that you can actually get in touch with our 7 contestants today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the competition is about to begin, but first, let me introduce our esteemed panel of judges. These distinguished individuals have a wealth of experience and expertise in public speaking and communication. Please give me a warm round of applause to our first judge, which is Kun Yuthana Sai-Sankakobon. Mr. Yuthana Gary is the founder of Bangkok-based marketing firm. He was the former head trainer of Chulalongkorn debate team and debate champion. He was also the international best speaker and best adjudicator with numerous judging and coaching experience. And today he is our grand final chief adjudicator and chair of the adjudication panel. Next person I would like to introducing Associate Professor James R. Haft. He is the former International Programs Coordinator of the Faculty of Communication Arts, Chulalongkorn University, where he still teaches and was recently named an Outstanding Lecturer of the International College, King Mongkut University of Technology, North Bangkok. Our next judge is Kun Nuanpan Getuman. Is a former president of the Chulalongkorn University English Debating Society and a dedicated trainer in competitive debate and public speaking. She has played an active role in collaborating with branches of the Ministry of Education to integrate English public speaking and debating into Thailand's secondary education's curriculum. Currently, she continues to organize and lead public speaking initiative in partnership with both governmental and private entities. Our next judges is Kun Kanyanat Piti Charan. Kun Kanyanat Piti Charan is the country manager for Tinder in Thailand and has previously worked at companies like Facebook and Google. She holds a degree from the University of Cambridge and is known for her expertise in marketing, communication, and business development. In 2024, she was recognized as one of Thailand's top country managers by CEO Insights Asia. Kunati is also a skilled public speaker, having won the first runner-up of the International Public Speaking Competitions 2008 in London. Our next judge is Mr. George Duncan, international leadership expert, public speaking mentor, judge, international public speaking competitions. George Duncan is a globally recognized expert in leadership communication and public speaking, a former Royal Air Force pilot and head of training at the RAF College Cranwell. He was responsible for setting the highest standards in leadership and effective communication, including writing the Royal Air Force Leadership Doctrine, which shaped military training for 25 years. He is also judged for international public speaking competitions and applied his expertise in evaluating speakers, training leaders, and fostering confident, impactful communication. His approach is both rigorous and supportive, ensuring that every speaker has the opportunity to deliver that message, clarity and purpose. And last but not least, on our judge panel, Miss Intira Sawatpani. Intira is a Thai businesswoman and community leader. She is a director of Modern Bath Company Limited and actively participates in social causes. Kun Intira holds leadership roles in Santa International, where she organizes events on issues like violence against women. She is also involved in the National Council of Women of Thailand and serves as the University Affairs Committee at Pratunam Universities. So please again join me in giving a round of applause to our judges. Okay, and this is the time. And thank you very much for our judges to be with us today and their commitment to nurturing the talents of our contestants. And we are excited to hear the insights and your feedbacks of this competition. Right, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. People seem like, right, so now I would like to start the competition. And our theme for today is unity to be real must stand at the severance strain without breaking. I would like to invite the first contestant for today. The first contestant is Nang Sao Ratnari Tantiwat from Nakhon Sawan School. Please give her a round of applause.
On stage. เอาต่ำไว้
If you're ready, you may start now.
Imagine a family dinner gone wrong. The food is ready, the table is set, but instead of eating, everyone is arguing over who deserves the biggest portion. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, welcome to our world. We talk about unity, but what does it even mean when some people have way too much, while others barely have enough? Let's put it simply, our world is like a delicious pie. Some places focus on baking a bigger pie, so everyone gets more. But others, like Thailand, spend more time fighting over slices than actually making more. So, what do? Just share it? Yeah, sure, that sounds nice. But let's be real. Real unity isn't just about being nice to each other. It's about until we can survive the toughest conflicts without tearing each other apart. Now, let me ask you something. What happens when one person gets to cut the pie, while the rest just sit there and watch? This isn't just unfair, it's unsustainable. In many countries, only a small group of people control most of the economy while millions are just trying to survive. And the worst part, the people without a slice are expected to be grateful for crumbs. So, the issue isn't just who gets the biggest slice, it's who even gets to be in the kitchen. If you want real unity, it can't just be about keeping the peace when the system itself is unfair, because that's not unity, that's pretending. Now, people always say division is bad, that we need to stop arguing and just come together. But what if division is actually a part of the process? Think about it. Before people had democracy, we had to fight against dictators. Before people had human rights, we had to challenge the system. Before science, gave us new discoveries. People who ask questions were called crazy. Change doesn't happen without attention. So no, the vision itself isn't the problem. The problem is that we are divided with no direction. And this is where we get stuck. Most people think that if we stop arguing, unity will magically appear. But unity isn't just about avoiding conflicts, it's about what happens after. A few weeks ago, I was at the market and I saw something interesting. A young street vendor was selling drinks. And right across from him was a fancy coffee shop selling overpriced lattes. I saw one man bought a drink from the vendor, and then he walked right into the coffee shop for a pastry. I overheard the joke, got to support both businesses, right? And in that moment, it hit me. This is what unity actually looks like. Not one side winning over the other, not rich people handing out charity to the poor to make them feel good, but a system where both can exist and thrive together. And that is how we create a society where more people can get a say in how the pie is made, where small businesses aren't crushed by giant corporations, where education doesn't just teach kids how to follow rules, but how to challenge them, where unity isn't just a word we say when things are peaceful, but something we fight for when things aren't. Right now, our world isn't lacking unity, it's lacking actions. We could keep arguing about slices, keep fighting over what's fair, who deserves what, and who's to blame. Or we could start baking. We could start teaching people how to challenge ideas without tearing each other apart. We could start collaborating across communities, backgrounds, and generations. And if we do that, if we focus less on who gets the biggest slice and more on who gets to be in the kitchen, then maybe we won't just be a world struggling to hold itself together. We will be a world that bends under pressure but never breaks. So, I will leave you with this. Are we just going to keep fighting over the same old pie? Or will we finally step into the kitchen and start baking a new one? Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ
5 minutes, 16 seconds.
Thank you very much. An interesting analogy about the food in the kitchen. Myanmar is now just suffered from a horrendous earthquake. You have a military junta that's in charge, asking for help from around the world. You have a major portion of the country opposed to the junta, resistance groups. You talk about going into the kitchen to prepare. How are you going to be telling Myanmar? How can they ensure that everyone receives the aid when the junta doesn't want to give it to the resistance?
Thank you for your question. For me, I think small actions create a bigger change. Most people think that I'm just one person, what can I do? But change doesn't happen from big or dramatic revolution. It comes from shift in thinking. So what if we judge less and listen more? We help people, we don't judge them. I think we can create a ripple effect where people can truly achieve unity. Thank you.
Okay. Very interesting analogy indeed about the pie, making a bigger pie and getting people into the kitchen. As a student, how would you recommend your friends who are also students to immediately take control, be proactive, and go into the kitchen?
Could you please explain that a little bit?
Okay, no problem at all. So rather than slicing the pie, you ask to make a bigger pie or be more involved in the kitchen. As a student, with your friends who are also students as well, how would you recommend your friends to take action and go into the kitchen today, right now?
I think I would create more opportunities. For example, better education, fairer policies, or innovation. And that makes people from different backgrounds, from different religion and reality can meet and talk. And that's how we bring more people into the kitchen.
Hi, thank you for your answer. And I have another question. When we hear your speech, it's very interesting, but because we're living in Thailand where we culturally have been raised to be polite, the culture is systematically giving us the narrative that speaking up is usually or is almost always equated to be rebellious. Where do you think this is coming from, and how do you think we can solve this problem?
I think this myth or this opinion comes from generational gap, because a lot of people, for example, my grandma or grandpa think that if I speak too much, for example, politically, I'll be a rebellious girl, right? But what if we create a space where many voices feel safe enough to speak with respect? And I think that's the key to achieve a real unity.
Thank you, Ratnari, as our first contestant. Please give her a round of applause. Our second contestant is Kunyamayot Rodney Boyson from Wari Chiang Mai School. Please give him a round of applause.
A wise Spanish chemist once said that music is a divine way to tell beautiful and poetic things to the heart. And I agree, whether it's the wail of blues guitar, the grandeur of symphony orchestra, or simple jazz song, music has always moved generations, showing incredible resilience and development, even in secret, because music is an ever-changing landscape, with its ups and falls, rises and falls, and yet all genres have survived, have continued to inspire and be admired by musicians and audiences alike. I myself think of music as an art form that can adapt, that can weave through any attempts to subjugate and suffocate it. For instance, the banning of the saxophone by the Vatican, the banning of the Andalusian cadence, which these attempts at control ultimately amounted to nothing. Because music has a personal connection to us, but of course this connection does depend on personal circumstance, perhaps such as age, location, or social status. But ultimately, its ability to evoke emotions make it such a powerful tool for storytelling, for emotional connection, for social comment. And in this, music has few equals. Music has been used as a medium, a middle ground for groups during times of great civil strife, perhaps such as civil rights movements or the ending of the war in Vietnam. And music, well, music, it mirrors the human condition. It evolved with us. It helped us evolve. Let's say, for instance, blues. Blues represents our sorrow and our sadness. Jazz teaches us the unpredictability of life through improvisation, and classical still maintains that artistic tradition can withstand, can go hand in hand with creativity. And I think it's beautiful that despite our diverse tastes and our preferences, we can still appreciate each other's tastes in music. Because that's the beauty of diversity. We don't necessarily have to like the same things, the same music, but we still feel the same emotions. We feel the same pains, don't we know? And music is a way to articulate those inner thoughts. It's a way to bind us together, a way to evoke emotion, a way to tell stories. And it's more than an entertainment form. It's a language that we all understand to some extent. But with all good things, there will be some challenges. Perhaps artificial intelligence could pose a threat to any form of creative thought. And yet people still go to concerts. People still support their favourite musical artists. People still play musical instruments. What is that spark? And can we really tell how the song was tick on music? With photography, where everyone has a camera, and with the advent of AI, it's becoming an undervalued and underappreciated art form. Could music suffer the same fate? Well, I myself think not, because as I said, music is an art form that can weave and adapt, but also because a program can write a note, but a program cannot write the emotion behind the note. A program cannot write the pain. A program cannot write the sorrow behind that note. Only the human heart can convey that. And it is so important that humans should write for other humans to connect human emotions with human music. And this is the true power of music. And as Gandhi once said that, true unity withstands the severest restraints. Music teaches us that through every hardship, a melody of hope can be found. And that unity in life and in music is what keeps us going forward together, and that music is unity unbroken.
Speakers spoke for 4 minutes, 19 seconds.
Thank you very much for that. With the main subject being considered there, what would you say is the real deep meaning behind the old saying, music calms the savage beast? What does that mean to you?
To me, I think music calms the savage beast because all living things, well, except microorganisms, of course, have some sort of sense of rhythm, a sense of harmony, something that they can interpret, a sound where they can interpret as perhaps a mating call or something that can calm them. And that is what I think that meaning means. Thank you.
Hi. Second question. So, speaking from someone who is a music illiterate like me, I would like to ask for your opinion. Do you think it is true that music's certain charm of music, such as raps or hip hop, are the kind of music that accept the in-groups of that particular type of music, but further alienate someone who is not a member of that particular group, as we can see in perhaps popular lyrics of these types of music.
Could I have that again, please?
Excuse me?
Could I have that again, please?
Oh, sure. So we can see that lyrics of certain genres of music sort of promotes violence among the members of groups that are not their own. Do you think that is true of the characteristics of these types of music, that they promote less of unity?
I myself think it's not true, because the lyrics are there to perhaps evoke a feeling inside of us, to make us feel relatable to other people who like the same types of music, but they do not warrant us, they do not want us to go harm other people. The lyrics are there to push, to bring people who like the same music together.
Any question?
Thank you. My question for you, I think it's sort of an extension from her question as well, is that, you said you should embrace music, as a melody of hope and unity. But at the same time, I think we have seen cases where music is used to segregate people, not just from different communities, but also from different social classes and social status. Right? So for example, there's certain genre of music that is more fitting for the nobles, and then there, music for, more for the mass or for a certain neighborhood, so to speak, right? So we assign, different music to different social classes. How do we overcome this act of segregation through music?
That's an excellent question. Well, I think that we should really open our ears, open our mind, listen to some of the new types of music, even if you don't like it, even if you don't think it's appropriate for you to listen to. But try to expand your horizons, try to understand why they like it, what's so likable about it.
Thank you, Yama. Please give him a good round of applause. And our third contestant is Rinrada Asawapan Pradeep from St. Joseph Convent School. Please join me in a warm welcome to the stage.
Raise your hand if you've ever been the target of a joke that didn't feel funny. You're not alone. I've been there too. Esteemed judges, friends, and everyone, good afternoon. Have you ever been laughed at about your clothes, your body, your weight, or things you thought no one else noticed? You feel a heat rise to your face, but you laugh along anyway, because what else are you supposed to do? And when you finally say, hey, that's not funny, you hear, relax, it's just a joke. Hey, don't be so serious. Oh, we're just messing around. But if a joke made someone feel humiliated, was it ever funny? And if the people around you only stand with you when you are laughing, then are they really standing with you at all? We've all laughed at something because we don't want to be the only one out laughing. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves. We don't want to be the next target. And that's where it starts. Not with fists, not with threats, but with words disguised as just joke. And these words have power. Some people get teased for the way they talk, so they stop speaking up in class. Some people get mocked for their accent, so they avoid talking to new people. Some people get laughed at for being different, so they start believing they don't belong. And this is where bullying begins, not with cruelty, but with silence. What kind of unity do you really have? Is it the kind that protects, or the kind that excludes? Is it the kind that stands strong, or the kind that falls apart when things get hard? Is it the kind that stays, or the kind that disappears the moment someone challenges a joke? Because unity isn't tested when everything is going well. It's tested when someone speaks up. It's tested when someone dares to challenge the challenge. And it's tested when the bullies realize that you are not someone to be messed with. That you won't let just joke define you or anyone else. Bullying doesn't happen because people are cruel. It happens because people are silent. When you are silent, you become a part of the reason it continues. Because if you don't say anything then, And let's be honest here. When there is one just joke, there will be another. And another. Should we allow bullies to invade our peaceful spaces and become majors? Bullying isn't just a school problem. It's everywhere. The same way students get laughed at for their mistakes. The way immigrants get mocked for not fitting in. The way LGBTQ plus people getting harassed just for existing. People everywhere are told to act normal instead of being themselves. So what can we do? First, think before you laugh. If the joke is at someone else's expense, ask yourself, is it really worth it? If you wouldn't want it said about you, then why let it happen? Second, speak up. If you hear someone being mocked, say something. If your friends go too far, tell them. If you're afraid of standing alone, remember, the person being laughed at is already standing alone. And finally, make sure no one feels forgotten. Be patient when someone struggles, and fight for those who are too scared to fight for themselves. And most importantly, make sure the people around you feel seen, heard, and valued. Because unity is about making sure no one feels alone. At the end of the day, it's not about how we laugh together. It's about how we protect each other. It's about choosing kindness over comfort. It's about making sure no one feels left behind, no matter their age, background, or even who they love. So the next time you hear, it's just a joke, ask yourself, is it bringing people together? Or is it pushing someone out? Are you standing with the group, or are you standing for what's right? Because bullying in any form, it's not a problem. It's a choice. And if we have the power to stop it, then choosing to do nothing makes us part of the problem. Stand up and give hope. Because when you do, your light will shine even brighter. Everyone, life is truly beautiful when no one is left out, alone, or beaten down by just joke. So what do you do? Watch? Laugh? Ignore? Or will you be the one who finally stands up and say, enough? Because the answer isn't up to them. It's up to you, right now.
The speaker spoke for 4 minutes, 57 seconds.
Thank you so much for that speech. So it was very powerful. With the just joke, I think many of us could definitely relate. I would love to hear your thought now that it's not just in real life bully, but now it's cyberbully. What's your thought on that?
Yes, I can see that many people now are experiencing cyberbullying, which has the same effect with bullying, because it both tolerates people and it disrespects other people in many ways. So both of them are bad, and we should not normalize that. It's not normal for people to get bullied every time. We should always prioritize respecting other people and seeing them as another human being.
What do you learn about yourself when you're preparing this speech?
I must say that this speech comes from my own experience. You can probably see that I'm a happy person. I smile for all the time. But I still experience the moment when some people criticize me and use just joke for me to laugh it off. And I feel like it's not normal. It's not okay for us to experience it and normalize it. That's why I'm giving this speech, so that I hope it connects to you guys and encourage you to reflect how important it is to respect other people.
Thank you. I want to go back to the cyberbullying just a little bit more. And I want to know how you would tell people that are bullying, right, through one of the social media to stop this. Would you confront them directly? How would you go about it? You say many people just stay silent. So what is your action?
I believe that oral education is such an efficient approach. I think that with the help of schools, families, and society that has such a crucial role in growing up for a young age, they should teach individuals with kindness and sympathy, empathy. Every young age students should learn that they should all respect other people and have empathy.
I have probably one last question. So, thank you for your speech. I think it's very interesting. But thinking about bullying now, I think, from my perspective right now, I think young people are more aware of bullying and are more aware of what they should say and shouldn't say. You wouldn't believe most of the bullying right now that I experience come from someone much older. And so, because of that, how do you think you should tackle that kind of bullying that comes from someone who you should be respecting?
Talking to elder people, we obviously can't say directly that, okay, that hurts me, because you would be rude. But being silent isn't the solution as well. So I'm sure that we can all come up with a good word to tell everyone that the most important things we should have in our own self is respect toward other people. We can all think about it and not be rude, not be too silly, we won't be too sensitive. We should all prioritize and not normalizing bullying. Let's come up with the word that we can all tell the people around the world that it is not okay.
Thank you very much, Ramita. Please give her another round of applause. Now, our fourth contestant, may I invite Chanchanok Misak from Pisanulok Pitayakul School up on the stage. Please give her a round of applause.
Soft things do not break. Soft things can bend, stretch, expand, and mold into different shapes. Soft things do not break, but hard things do. We used to confuse unity with uniformity, and while the two might seem alike, it's not that simple. On one hand, unity is oneness, the state of being joined as a whole. But on the other hand, uniformity is sameness, the state of being and doing the exact same and lacking diversity. Uniformity is hard. It enforces conformity. It suppresses individuality. In Thailand, we are required to wear uniforms in places like the schools, universities, and some workplaces. On the outside, it seems like everyone agreed on the same thing, but doesn't make us a unified community when we dress and look the same? No. Sameness does not bring about unity. It will break because nature is inherently unequal. Every culture, every community, every single person has different knowledge, strengths, roles, and points of view. Take, for example, walls. Walls that must stand up against the pressure of our houses and buildings. What is a wall made of? Mainly bricks, blockwork, or wood. Hard things, correct? And though they make the wall look uniform and stable, but really think about it, without cement, sand, water, or bolts, how can that wall function? It will crumble apart. Without diversity, without different elements performing its parts, unity will crumble apart. Unity in diversity responds to the modern world's need for creative solutions, innovative ideas, and diverse perspectives. Unity in diversity is soft, not weak, but soft, as in it fosters a flexible and understanding union. Unity in this day and age is when unique individuals are all able to come together, embrace our differences, and contribute any way that we can, instead of fitting into a box others built. So, how can we promote unity in diversity? It's a twofold process, and actually we have been doing the first part really well by guiding and supporting everyone, especially the youth of today, to be unique, to embrace our individual qualities and build on our own strengths. But for the second part, we haven't yet achieved the desired outcome. To harmonize all the differences, we need the most vital skills, which are the infrastructure of unity. Soft skills, the ability to collaborate and interact effectively with other people. These here are three main soft skills. First, communication skill, encompassing sending clear and concise messages, understanding both verbal and non-verbal cues, paying attention to what someone else is saying, expressing genuine gratitude and apologies, controlling our tone of voice, and so on. Secondly, emotional intelligence, the ability to acknowledge and handle the emotions of people around us and our own. It includes empathy, which means to understand and share the experiences, thoughts, and feelings of other people, putting ourselves in their shoes to see things from their perspectives. And third, respect. As a soft skill, it means valuing the unique qualities of other people and showing them consideration. It also means knowing when to lead and when to follow, recognizing our own limitations and accepting that we can't always be the best, then let other people who are better than us take the lead. According to a BBC workforce survey, 57% of the youth around the world, approximately 1,026,000,000 young people, are gravely lacking basic soft skills due to the convenience of virtual interaction that leads to the lack of real human contact that is really starting to take its toll, alongside with the lack of serious education and training about soft skills, as Gen Zs really don't realize their importance and how to practice them. Personally, I have to admit that I am not as good at these skills as I should be, but I am currently working on developing them in order to effectively put my unique qualities to use by effectively collaborating with other awesome and unique young people. Unity, to be real, must stand a separate strain without breaking. I believe the strain of unity in my generation is the lack of soft skills. As members of the Generation C, the youth of today, are responsible for acquiring soft skills, we still need support, solid training, and examples from the older generations in order to master them. Soft things do not break. If we as people can ever so readily be soft, bend, stretch, expand, and mold together as parts of the whole, do what we do best to contribute to the greater good, all while leveraging soft skills to enhance our harmonious union, I believe we can stand a separate strain without breaking. Thank you.
The speaker spoke for 5 minutes, 34 seconds.
Thank you so much for that speech. Clearly shows the importance of soft skills. But how could other generations or society, especially in Thailand, help your generation collect and cultivate those soft skills better?
Like I said, the cause of the problem of lacking soft skills are mainly comes from two causes. The first is the convenience of virtual interaction, but the next is the lack of serious education and solid training. So the help that we can use from the other generations, no matter older or younger generations, we could all, learn to, like I said, communicate better, understand and handle the emotions of people around us, and respect other people. Thank you.
So the uniformity or conformity that you mentioned in your speech, take your life experience, right? What are some examples of uniformities that are being forced upon you by the system that you feel like is nonsense and it can be changed?
I believe that in Thailand, uniformity is very unnoticeable because we are the country of diversity. You know, people from the north, the south, and the eastern side, we are very, very different. But I think that uniformity that is embedded in Thai histories are, uniforms, like literally uniforms. I think that, well, it is not ridiculous, but I think that it doesn't add to the quality of education, it doesn't add to the quality of our understanding of subjects or, the world issues. So I think that uniforms should really be considered.
No more questions, so thank you very much, Tan Chanel. Our first contestants, may I invite Sitvit Prathai Suwan from Sonpulak Vidyalai Dantari up on the stage. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Good afternoon, judges. The title of my speech is Bridging Groups. A man is sitting with his coworkers during lunch. He opens his lunchbox and finds a cheese sandwich. The second day, third day, and fourth day go by, and every day he finds a cheese sandwich. Feeling frustrated, the man told his coworkers, "I just hate cheese sandwiches." Finally, one of his coworkers asked him, "If you hate cheese sandwiches so much, why don't you just ask your wife to make you something else?" The man looked at him, confused, and said, "I don't have a wife." So his coworker asked him, "Well, then who makes your sandwiches?" And the man replied, "Well, I do." It's a funny story, but there's a deeper truth here. The man made the cheese sandwiches which he disliked. He was fully capable of making himself something else for lunch. So why did he? How could the man be complicit in his own dissatisfaction, continually making the very sandwiches he despised? Unfortunately, nowhere is this type of behavior more evident than in one of the greatest challenges in human history: the struggle to foster meaningful interfaith dialogue. But first of all, what is that? At its most basic level, interfaith dialogue involves people of different religious faiths coming together to have a conversation. Conversation, in this sense, has an expansive definition and is not limited to verbal exchange alone. In fact, in his seminal work, Habits of the Heart, sociologist Robert Bellah placed conversation at the very heart of civilization. He defines culture as dramatic conversations about things that deeply matter to their participants. The notion of interfaith dialogue encompasses many different types of conversations, goals, settings, and formats. But it is not an all-encompassing concept. Interfaith dialogue is not intended to be a debate. It is aimed at mutual understanding, not competing. At mutual problem solving, not proselytizing. Immediately after meeting someone with a different opinion, a person's first instinct is usually to throw out a rebuttal, to disagree and to point out contradictions. The conversation is then reduced to insults and personal attacks. Why is that? You see, us humans, we don't just hold beliefs, we live by them. They shape our perception of the world, influence the decisions we make, and form the foundation of our sense of identity. Our beliefs often act as lens through which we view everything around us, from the smallest interactions to the most significant life events. They become so ingrained in us that it's easy to forget that they're not universal truths, but rather perspectives we've developed over time. There are many factors as to why interfaith dialogue is so difficult, but one of the biggest contributors is history. Our differences in faith aren't just personal. They carry the weight of centuries of conflict. Some religious communities see themselves as historical victims, while others may be perceived as aggressors. This dynamic complicates interfaith dialogue because it can make people defensive or unwilling to acknowledge past mistakes. Now, you might be thinking, if interfaith dialogue so often leads to conflict, why even bother? Wouldn't it be easier to just avoid these conversations altogether? And at first that might seem like the safest option, but history also tells a different story. A story of those who rejected division and chose dialogue over silence. Take Bobby Heschel and Martin Luther King Jr., for example. A Jew and a Christian stood side by side during the Civil Rights Movement. Heschel famously marched with King in Selma, showing that faith can unite rather than divide. Their partnership proved that justice transcends religion and that dialogue leads to action. Or consider the Parliament of the World's Religions, founded in 1893 and still active to this day. Leaders from Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and more come together not to debate, but to listen. To learn and tackle global issues like poverty and human rights. Over a century later, these dialogues continue to shape peace efforts worldwide. These examples prove that interfaith dialogue is not just worthwhile, it's essential. It carries risks, but the alternative is greater division, deeper misunderstandings, and missed opportunities for unity. The truth is, unity does not mean uniformity. It does not require us to erase our differences, but rather to embrace them as opportunities for connection. Our world has been shaped by cultural and religious divides, but it can also be shaped by the bridges between them. And these bridges are not built with bricks and beams or steel and stones, but with willingness. With the willingness to listen. With the willingness to change. With the willingness to look at things from a different point of view. To not fear difference, but to welcome it as a door, not a wall. Thank you.
The speaker spoke for 5 minutes, 15 seconds.
Thank you for that. Quick question. So, cultural divide right now. In your opinion, what is the biggest cultural divide going on in the world right now?
Thank you for the question, first of all. In my opinion, the biggest cultural divide, or at least the one most important to me right now, is between Taiwan and China. My mom is Chinese, so she's very passionate about this subject. And although I'm not very well versed in this topic, I think it affects many people. It affects more people than the problem lets on. So a lot of people don't see this as a big problem. But for the population of China, for the population of Taiwan, it's an extremely big problem, and it will affect all of our lives, certainly, the whole world. Thank you.
So thank you for your speech. It still brings me to think about the opening that you just gave, the analogy about the cheese sandwich. But I would just like to circle back to that analogy for a little bit, and please enlighten me as to what is going on in that man's head and what is stopping him from having that dialogue with himself to fix his cheese sandwich problem.
Thank you for the question. So the point of the story is to illustrate how people are responsible, blame external factors for problems that they are fully in control of. So for the man, this cheese sandwich, maybe it's all he's ever known, right? Maybe his parents made the cheese sandwich for him since he was little. And that's why he keeps making it, because it feels safe. Because making something else might make him feel unsafe. Making something else that is different is something that he's scared to do because people fear difference. People fear feeling uncomfortable, and that's why the man keeps making the cheese sandwich. Thank you.
I have a question. Let's take the Thai political landscape as an example. So where there are different groups divided among different ideas, and for so many years now, it seems like a meaningful and quality dialogue seems to be something that is very hard to do. How would you change the dynamic of the conversation that you think should happen in order to pursue this, meaningful interfaith dialogue?
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. I think the biggest problem in interfaith dialogue right now is people go into the conversation carrying grudges and bringing up past conflict, and this type of mindset is what prevents any real progress from happening. Like, if you ask someone on the street, right, whether a single mistake defines their entire being, they probably say no. So why should the mistakes of our predecessors define us, right? They shouldn't. And while I think history has its fair share of some very, very serious wrongs, these mistakes should define us, and real interfaith dialogue requires the ability to just move forward and forgive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sirikul. Thank you. Our sixth contestant is Chawanvit Chirapudi from Sutula Vidyalai School. Please, ขอหาตั้งด้วยค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ Please give Chawanvit a round of applause.
Test. Greetings, fellow audience members and esteemed judges. The title of my speech is Purgatory Part 1. Bang! A security guard collapses. Your worst nightmare has come true. It felt like a few seconds ago had just passed since your last conversation with your fellow bank employees. Next thing you know, you're being held at gunpoint inside of a small bank vault, waiting for rescue. During that time, however, something unexpected happens. The gunman, once a terrifying figure, he begins to smile. He offers you comfort. He assures you of your safety. He shares stories. Slowly, your judgment gives in to his charms. And before you can even act, the smell of lead has become sweet. The police arrive. You hesitate. The door is wide open, but your feet are glued to the floor. You pled for his safety, raising money for his legal defense, believing that his fate is yours to aid. What I have to describe you there is not some hypothetical scenario. No. This is the story of Stockholm Syndrome. Some might say it's a psychological disorder, while interviews with survivors would suggest otherwise. They weren't crazy. They were just surviving. And that same will to live is what keeps millions of people, men, women, and children, from escaping another kind of prison, the prison of domestic abuse. Now, I believe it's not illogical to say that victims of abuse, both past and present, have recognized that they're in pain, which begs the question, what is preventing them from walking away? Founder of the International Institute for Trauma and Addiction Professionals, Dr. Patrick Kahns, suggests that trauma bonding, the attachment from cycles of rewards and punishment, is what keeps victims psychologically entrapped. But just look at the statistics. The National Coalition Against Domestic Violence states that victims leave and come back up to 7 times before escaping permanently. And what scale are we talking about here? According to the WHO, up to 1/3 of the entire female population has experienced this exact fate. A case to be made for the men as well, with countries like America, with NIH pointing towards 20% of male Americans went to the same predicament last year. Ladies and gentlemen, before I go any further, I must confess one thing. I may have omitted some key details from all of it. The truth is, the story of Stockholm Syndrome has not ended. It couldn't have ended. Because the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. I'm afraid society has romanticized the problem. What's with all these discourses on abuse anyway? She stayed because he loves her. He forgave because family comes first, or that blood is thicker than water. Ironically, this quote has been so misused that people have forgotten that the quote is actually the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, completely juxtaposing that very notion. Yet we resort to contort and distort love. For what? Do we want the coercion of 50 Shades of Grey to be the representation that we need? Why do we keep normalizing these things? Thus we reach the end with our backs against the wall, searching for some sort of salvation to all of this. But as the saying goes, every black cloud has a silver lining. If these discourses can teach us one thing, then it should be this. They are made by humans, so we have every right to change it. In true Nietzschean fashion, I would implore you all to use the hammer to critique and show how hollow these bells of dogmas can truly be. So strip endurance at all costs and give rise to what is truly ours, liberation. Only then can we have the adequate foundation to foster the unity that can stand the severed ties. Bang! This time, nobody is hurt. Nobody dies. That was a firework of hope, a signal that the scripts can be rewritten. The question is, will we do it? The choice is yours. Thank you.
The speakers spoke for 5 minutes, 12 seconds.
Thank you very much. I'd like to turn, rather than the syndrome, to the abuse. I know of situations where women that I have known are in relationships that are very abusive, both emotionally and physically. And yet they go back. And you say, break out. They can't do it. So what do you recommend they do?
Well, thank you for your amazing insight into this problem. So, we have to understand something about power. Power in this case, right, is not just some sort of recursive power trying to brutalize the ones who do the deeds. But this has come to a point where we have we use normalizing power in Foucauldian term of making it so that we just take it for granted as something just some simple interesting details or information that we just don't question it. And if I have to directly talk to that person, I would suggest them to first ask the question that rather than asking the question, why can't you leave? We should ask the question, what would be the adequate amount of needs, sustainability, and sustainable economic and information, education, so on and so forth, needed to support them out of those problems. And that is what I believe how we can close the gap of these problems and go towards some sort of utopia that we can solve these problems in the end.
Based on this topic of domestic abuse and Stockholm Syndrome, can you tell me personally on your front, why did you pick this topic?
Well, thank you for your question, by the way. It came across as something of my own moral imperative, because this is some sort of really sensitive topic, but I need to share this. But because my own family is also experiencing this same thing, it is really unfortunate. But an example of this is my aunt. Basically, every time that there is a problem related to her or a problem related to anything family relations, even especially related to my grandmother, all of the pressure, all of the negative emotions always goes towards her. And in most cases, she's the only person who has to bear the burden of pain. Nobody is there for her to push her out of these problems. The fact is that it's also my own family who keeps reinforcing these ideas. It's like my uncle himself tries to use words to subjugate her thoughts into some sort of a tool for his needs. And for me seeing this for countless and countless of years, it was within my own volition that needed to be the voice of the person that I feel a deep emotional connection to.
I have one question. So I have repeatedly thought about this topic many times myself. I feel that children experiencing domestic abuse come up on one of the two ways. One is they become someone like you who become an advocate for this kind of problem, or the other side is that they become the abuser themselves. So for children or for someone in this situation, how do you shed lights on this situation so that they can be on the more positive side like you?
Well, okay, that's a really interesting question. So I would want them to be a closer representation of what I should be, but in this case, I truly believe that we need the education. We need education, and we need the economic needs for them to escape these problems. The Harvard Gender Violence Project stated that most of these cases, they have a lack of economic needs that still ties to their parents. They couldn't escape because, well, where would they be living if that's the case? And I feel like governments need to take it into their own hands of trying to come up with collaborative acts using unions or other organizations as a tool to actually support them through their own needs. And also, we have to consider, well, one of the famous debates of the 1970s, where Foucault asked Noam Chomsky of how are we supposed to presuppose things that we don't even know, like human nature. We don't know the whole entire landscape of it. We just have some propositions of what is true or not. But we need also the leader who's there to take the challenge, be prepared to be wrong, and then move towards trying to deconstruct and form new values and ideas along the way.
Thank you, Chancellor. Last but not least, our seventh contestant. Please welcome Su Kwan Kanjanakit from Pratunam School up on the stage. Please give her a round of applause.
Is the United Nature. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the most important things in your life? Is your house, your car, your money? No, it's your own life. Without your life, you can never have those things. Our lives are gifts from nature. We came from nature. The nature, or the ecosystem that withstands us, is built on balance, cooperation, and resilience. These things, they all sums up into the unity of nature. In nature, every tree, every stream, every animal, they connected. They rely on each other to survive. And this goes on in a cycle, and by the rule of giving and taking. This creates the perfect united nature. The united nature that we're living in now has stood the test of time for a really long period. Until now. It is being tested like never before, whether will it stand the severe strain or not. And yes, the strain I'm talking about is nothing far from what you think. And in fact, not far from us at all. Because it's us, humans. From deforestation to pollution, climate change, we are the major cause of all these threats to nature. And here are the questions. Will the nature survive? Is the unity of nature real? Will it break? And what will happen to us, the cause of all this, if the unity of nature breaks? So let's take a forest as an example. If we cut down all the trees in the forest, animals, they will lose their source of food and shelter. The air, it will be more polluted, and when the rainy season comes, there will be floods, severe ones, which at last backfires to us. And don't even think about escaping these consequences from nature, because you can't. Look at the recent earthquake as an example. Even a tall building that human thinks that it's so powerful and unbreakable, they still shattered, and some even got took down by the power of nature. So, leaving the consequences of nature is impossible. We cannot take something from nature without giving back. We cannot destroy without consequences. But here are the good news. Unity also exists as an ability for us to make some changes. And in fact, a lot of us have already begun. For example, you refuse plastic bags from grocery stores. Or companies have been deducting their needs of woods from the forest. Or on the global sector, we have international treaties like Kyoto Protocol or Paris Agreement. But those things, are those really enough? Judging by the state of our environment today, those things are not enough. We need more. We need more people. We need more effort into this. We need to expand. We can expand to not only the choice of our grocery bags, but the choice of materials of everything we use in our daily lives. We can expand to not only reducing deforestation, but increasing reforestation, increasing green spaces. And on a global level, governments can work on the existing treaties. They can work for more binding and more enforceable international agreements. And now, you guys might be wondering, why am I bringing up this topic? Because you've already learned it in school. You've already seen it on some public campaigns. It's because I want to remind and emphasize to you that one last important step of this whole environmental saving effort is that you have to actually do it. Not just a sudden urge, not an idea, but make that idea come to life. Make it happen. And when everybody does this, now we can actually have a nature that is saved and good for us to live in. So, what all of this tries to convey here is that the idea of saving nature and the unity already exists in us from the start. But now, what we need to do now is to maintain it and expand it. So the questions are not whether can the nature withstand the strain or not, but whether will we rise to challenge? Will we unite to protect our mother nature? Will we let our disconnection from nature destroy the unity forever? Because the choice is ours. So let's choose to stand strong, unbreakable, to create the unity that is real and long-lasting for a united nature. Thank you.
The speaker spoke for 5 minutes, 7 seconds.
Thank you for a very interesting and thought-provoking talk. For years and years now, we've been warned of the consequences of ignoring many of the things that you were talking about, in particular our attention to taking care of the planet. Most people on the planet do have a reasonable modicum of intelligence. We understand, we say things are bad. Why are we not doing anything about it? What is it within us, either as individuals or as a society, what prevents us or our governments doing something substantial?
Okay, thank you for the questions. So, in my opinion, what's the biggest obstacle that is stopping us from doing these environmental saving efforts is that we love convenience. Doing these things we're doing today, like fossil fuels or using plastic bags or cutting down trees or emitting some carbon dioxide, we're doing this because it's convenient for us. If we don't do these stuff, if we have to find a new way of living, if businessmen have to find a new way of them that they're gonna run their business, it's not gonna be as convenient as what we're doing now today. And normal people, they are scared of life being hard. So rather than thinking about the future, thinking about our next generations, and actually do something to save the nature and stop ourselves from destroying the nature, we are choosing for our convenience today without thinking further into the future. Or even if we're thinking further into the future, we still want to feel comfortable about ourselves and in our daily lives today. So that's what's stopping us from doing all the environmental saving efforts. Thank you.
My question for you is that some people argue that going green is very expensive. That going green is actually a rich person's hobby, right? And I'm not talking about, switching from plastic straw to paper straw, right? I'm talking about big things like solar panel, things like actually consuming environmentally friendly products, supporting farms and agriculture that care as opposed to mass production. But the thing is that these are all very expensive and the mass cannot keep up with these activities. What is your opinion and how do we fix it?
Okay, thank you for the question. So firstly, I want to talk about the business sector, about the businessmen. So I think changes can be done very easily if these businessmen stand up and do something about saving the nature, because actually they're like the major cause of, the greenhouse gases and all the pollution, right? So I think if we're able to communicate to the businessmen that, what you are doing now is destroying the nature. And as I said, that someday the nature will have a consequence that backfires to us. We have to explain to them that what they are doing now is actually destroying the nature, and the nature will once destroy the people back. Even if the nature doesn't destroy you directly, it will destroy less fortunate people than you, which most likely is your customer. And when those customers got destroyed, how could you run your business, right? We have to explain it to them like this, that it's actually their loss. It's not like they're destroying the nature and they're still gaining, because at some point it will be their loss. And the next part is about the government sector. I think it's very important that every government in the world is realizing that now we have climate change, we have like an environmental problem, and going green as a lifestyle is a very expensive lifestyle, as you said, right? So what governments need to do is that they need to make the going green lifestyle not by chance, but it's like not by alternative, but they need to make that lifestyle a default lifestyle to their citizens. They need to support how their citizens get solar cells, or like try to deduct the price of solar cells in some way. Like they can bring out some policies that help citizens get into that lifestyle of going green better, to make it a default lifestyle, not just a choice. Thank you.
If you could give one message to your peer about unity, what would it be?
Thank you for the question. That was very interesting. Okay, so I think unity is not just about people working together and coming together and having the same opinion. But I think unity is when all of us, even though we have different ideas, even though we argue sometimes, but it is that when at last all of us could still live together in peace. We don't fight. We accept each other's opinions. We respect each other. And that's what unity really is. Because it's impossible for people to have completely same opinions like all the time, right? But unity is living together peacefully with all those different opinions, with all those different ideas. We still not fight. We still work together. And we still function as a society. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you all of our 7 contestants for sharing their inspiring ideas and demonstrated the incredible ability to speak confidently and comfortably in front of the audiences. We are truly proud of each of you and every one of you. At this point, we would like to invite our esteemed judges to deliberate and make their decision for this round. And shortly, we will announce the 3 contestants who will advance to the impromptu round. And while our judges are discussing, we invite you all to have the well-deserved break. And we will be reconvene in about 15 or 20 minutes. And then we will have the announcement for the top 3 contestants moving forwards. So enjoy your break and see you shortly.
Okay, ครับ 1 2 3 come on นะครับผมนี่ครับ 1 2 1 2ครับเดี๋ยวครับวันมอบรอพี่ปุ้มก่อนเอากล้องหลังหน่อยนะครับ
สักครู่ครับสักครู่นะครับท่านครับ
ขออนุญาตครับผมครับอีกครั้งนะครับผม
วันนี้วิดีโออะค่ะ
ครับ
อ๋องั้นก็ขึ้นไหวได้
ลง YouTube
First of all, on behalf of the entire education panel, I would just like to say that it was a really inspiring round from all the speakers. We enjoyed each of your speeches very much. In fact, it was also very intense when we were selecting the 3 that would proceed to the next round. But after a fruitful discussion, we were able to come up with a list of 3 names. So proceeding to the impromptu round in no particular order is Miss Rinrana from the Congress. Next, we have Mr. Sirikum from Suan Kulap Vidyalaya Nothaburin. And last but not least, we have Mr. Chawan Wit from Suan Kulap Vidyalaya. I'd like to congratulate all 3 of you and good luck and do your best on the next round. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Is she going to tell them to go out?
So,
Yes.
for preparations, ทั้งสามคนเลยค่ะ เดี๋ยวทางเจ้าที่จะพาไปนะคะ I would like to invite Kun Laliwan Kanjanazari up on the stage to present the gift to Jasmine. She's not speaker, she's our winners from last year.
Dah nak ni mana dah nak.
ด้านโบกทางด้านโบกโอเคครับ
สักครู่นะครับ
หลายกล้องนะครับขออนุญาตครับผมกล้องนี้ครับครับนะครับเอาไว้ดีกว่าขอบคุณครับ
Invited Kun Shawiwan Kulaniti up on the stage to presenting the present to our judge. Kun Yutana is okay. He's smiling. Kun Yutana up on the stage to. May I invite Associate Professor James R. Howe up on the stage. May I invite Kun Nunhan Ketuman up on the stage. Next, may I invite Kun Kanyana Pititsaran up on the stage. May I invite Kun Intira Sawathanil up on the stage. And last but not least, may I invite Mr. George Duncan up on the stage. Thank you very much. I'll be waiting for our three contestants for them to come to. You guys can enjoy this quiet time. You can chat with each other.
You need more.
Next to you. Thank you. Esteemed judges, friends and everyone, good afternoon again. I would like to know your first impression of me. Do you think I'm welcoming? Do you think I'm friendly? Or do you think I'm approachable? One thing that you probably didn't notice is that I'm Thai. But how does it connect? I'm going to tell you. Time flies. Buildings got renovated. Culture changed. But one thing that hasn't disappeared yet is kindness. You probably heard, Thailand, let us smile. But so what? Do you know that kindness can be easily spread? How? By smiling. But smiling? That's easy. What does that do? I'll give you an example. First, have you ever felt regret after doing something? And then you're about to confront to someone and then they make a mad face. You feel like, oh my God, you're dying right now. But when that person suddenly smiles at you, you felt relief, don't you? Second, have you ever felt isolated? You got bullied, for example. You look around the room, no one was looking at you. No one was having your back. But then suddenly, you see that one pair of eyes. They smiled at you. You probably feel better. You feel that someone is supporting you right now. And finally, this is a bit cliche, but have you ever smiled when you wanted to celebrate someone? I did. Probably when you were singing happy birthday. You won't be singing with a mad face, don't you? Because you cherish that person of the day they were born. So, spreading kindness is very easy. Let us all show the world why Thailand is the land of smile. Why Thailand is the land of smile. By spreading kindness, smiling to everyone every day, you won't know which smile of you will lighten up someone's day.
Please welcome คุณสิริภูมิประภัยสุวรรณ from สวนกุหลาบวิทยาลัยนนทบุรี up on the stage.
Hello again, judges. Thailand. What comes to mind when I say Thailand? Our beautiful beaches, our vibrant culture, or our unique cuisine. For outsiders, that may be all there is to Thailand. We are seen as beautiful and happy country with no problems in sight. But dive a little deeper, and those problems become easier to see. For example, a problem that is very evident in Thai culture is that we put people that we perceive as important on a pedestal, whether it be our elders, celebrities, or politicians. We are so critical that we tear them down after one mistake. And some of that is definitely justifiable. For example, a few days ago, an earthquake hit our country. Citizens were left wondering why SMS messages came so late. We are right to be afraid. And we are right to be critical. I mean, succeeding without struggling is unheard of. It's unnatural. But what comes after struggle is success. Just look at all those people we put on a pedestal. They went through hardships and emerged as diamonds. I encourage you to embrace your challenges and to view them as opportunities for a better world. After all, we are only here because of the struggles we went through. Thank you.
The speakers spoke for 1 minute, 43 seconds.
And for the last contestant. Please give a round of applause to คุณชวรวิทย์เชื้อผู้ดี from สวนกุหลาบวิทยาลัย School.
Truth. We all have always wanted to find truth to everything that we see. Well, of course, but the truth has always seemed to be as a virtue for all of us to acquire. And in this day and age, when our country tries to strive to predict, to find that in 2025. And don't get me wrong, countries have tried in the past, with America, of course. But, well, we have to understand one point, that though, no matter how noble these goals are, history has proven before that we are subjected to being controlled by those who are in power. Take the Reagan administration, for example. In live TV, he showed us a graph. But what we didn't know at that time, so it oozes doublespeak. Ooh, fancy term. In simple ways, doublespeak is basically you stating the truth with some falsity within it. He basically, don't truthfully show the graph, but within that graph, he shortened it, make it more concise for the mass, believing that, well, there was basically no problem with it. We could went away with our future as planned. And we have to consider that, well, even though the technology back then was not as advanced as now, today, what do we have? We have AI, we have social media, that at any given moment, we can construct whatever imaginations to fill our own agenda. Take the recent example of the earthquake. I, myself, went through that serious problem as well. I immediately, well, woefully ignorant, went to ChatGPT, searching for an answer. Well, the AI gave me that the problem lies within Myanmar. Though true, it gave me the actual, it didn't give me the actual information. It stated 0.3 Richter of earthquake, which in reality, from credible news sources like Thailand, gave us 0.7. Then you may think, well, it's only 0.4. But you have to understand, that 0.4 has the power to dictate whether our life has to end or not. And why do we follow this? How do we overcome this truth and falsity? We must, well, those of you who might be shocked to hear this, reject our own goals of finding truth altogether. Though no matter how noble that may be, we have to revert to what is truly our own naturalistic cause, to live. And when we disregard that notion of living, we try to find inconsistencies in debates and stuff without actually focusing the progress of human life itself. So, are we going to be Socrates who died in his deathbed without even giving himself to living the life that he truly desires, or we are going to continue to live like his own predecessors? Thank you.
Speakers for 3 minutes, 27 seconds.
Thank you again, Shawanwik and the rest of the contestants. And once again, I would like to invite our esteemed judges to make their decision in this round. And shortly, we will announce the winner of 2025 Thailand Public Speaking Competition.
เรียนท่านผู้บริหาร ESU Thailand นะครับท่านคณะกรรมการผู้ทรงคุณวุฒิคณะครูอาจารย์นักเรียนและผู้ปกครองทุกท่านครับวันนี้ผมมีความรู้สึกยินดีนะครับและก็เป็นเกียรติมากที่ได้รับมอบหมายจากคณะรัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวงศึกษาธิการท่านพลตำรวจเอกเพื่อบุญชิดชอบได้มอบหมายให้ผมมาเป็นผู้แทนของกระทรวงศึกษาธิการได้มาร่วมนะครับกับกิจกรรมของ ESU ในวันนี้ส่วนตัวผมนี่ปีนี้เป็นปีที่2นะครับที่ผมได้มีโอกาสมาร่วมนะครับอย่างน้องคนสุดท้ายเมื่อกี้ก็จำได้ว่าปีที่แล้วก็มานะครับปีที่แล้วก็มาแล้วก็ทำได้ดีอย่างนี้แหละเหมือนกันนะครับก็จำได้แชมป์ปีที่แล้วก็จำได้นะครับก็ได้เจอบรรยากาศที่คุ้นเคยจริงๆปกติมางานภาษาอังกฤษก็ต้องเตรียมสปีชภาษาอังกฤษนะครับแต่ผมก็บอกทางสต.บอกว่าถ้าให้ผมมาพูดภาษาอังกฤษงานนี้ผมไม่เอาดีกว่าเพราะผมกลัวอายน้องเพราะว่าผมอาจจะเติบโตขึ้นมากับการศึกษาในรูปแบบเก่าหน่อยนึงก็คือยังมีความเขินอายที่จะออกเสียงผิดทั้งที่จริงการใช้ภาษาเนี่ยไม่ได้เกี่ยวนะครับว่าจะออกเสียงสำเนียงแบบไหน สำคัญคือสื่อสารกันให้รู้เรื่องนะครับนโยบายที่สำคัญของกระทรวงศึกษาธิการที่ท่านรัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวงศึกษาธิการได้มอบให้ก็คือเรียนดีมีความสุขส่วนหนึ่งของการเรียนดีมีความสุขก็คือการสร้างบรรยากาศให้เอื้อให้เขาเรียนให้สนุกการใช้ภาษาอังกฤษก็เช่นเดียวกันครับการใช้ภาษาอังกฤษเนี่ยสิ่งที่กระทรวงศึกษาธิการกำลังพยายามทำอยู่ในวันนี้เนี่ยก็คือเราพยายามเสริมศักยภาพทุกอย่างให้กับสถานศึกษาให้เขามีความสามารถในการพัฒนาภาษาอังกฤษของผู้เรียนให้ได้มากขึ้นเรามีศูนย์ HCEC นะครับท่านทราบอยู่แล้วนะครับที่เราก็พยายามที่จะปรับปรุงศูนย์เนี่ยให้เป็นศูนย์ที่เด็กๆสามารถใช้ได้จริงไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของการเรียนภาษาทั้งภาษาอังกฤษภาษาจีนนะครับการทดสอบเรามีหลักสูตรวันนี้เนี่ยของเราใช้หลักสูตร CEFR ซึ่งก็ถือว่าเป็นมาตรฐานของยุโรปวันนี้ท่านจะเห็นว่าการใช้หลักสูตร CEFR เป็นการที่มุ่งเน้นถึง competency หรือสมรรถนะของผู้เรียนมากกว่าการเรียนแบบอะคาเดมิกในอดีตที่ผ่านมาในยุคเราอาจจะต้องเรียนเริ่มจากต้องท่องศัพท์ให้ได้เยอะๆแกรมมาจะต้องแม่นพูดเอาไว้ก่อนฟังก็แล้วแต่ในปัจจุบันนี้หลักสูตรเราก็พยายามปรับปรุงให้เด็กมีทักษะในการที่จะฟังให้รู้ความพูดให้รู้เรื่องสิ่งเหล่านี้จะเป็นพื้นฐานที่สำคัญดังนั้นในการทำกิจกรรมเช่นนี้ครับที่ทางสมาคมได้จัดทำกระทรวงศึกษาธิการจึงถือว่าเป็นความภูมิใจนะครับและก็เป็นเกียรติกับกระทรวงศึกษาธิการที่ได้มีส่วนร่วมช่วยในการผลักดันสิ่งหนึ่งที่อยากจะฝากนะครับฝากทั้งกรรมการฝากทั้งสมาคมฝากทั้งคุณครูฝากทั้งน้องๆด้วยก็คือในอนาคตเนี่ยเมื่อกลุ่มของเรามีมากขึ้นก็อยากจะให้ได้รวมกลุ่มกันแล้วก็ทำประโยชน์เกี่ยวกับการศึกษาเกี่ยวกับภาษาอังกฤษเกี่ยวกับ Public Speaking ที่น้องๆได้มาทำวันนี้ถือว่าเป็นกิจกรรมที่ดีมากนะครับเมื่อสักครู่3 ทีม 3 คนทำได้ดีมากๆคือผมจินตนาการไม่ออกเลยนะครับว่าถ้าให้เวลาเราไปเตรียมตัว3 นาที 5 นาทีแล้วก็บอกว่าให้มาพูดในเวลา3 นาทีเอาแค่ภาษาไทยผมว่าผู้ปกครองท่านครับคงรู้สึกเหนื่อยแล้วหรอกแต่ท่านต้องภูมิใจในลูกๆของท่านเนี่ยพูดออกมาได้แบบถือว่าเก่งมากๆแล้วก็มีคุณภาพมากๆนะครับขอเป็นกำลังใจนะครับให้กับน้องๆทุกทีมที่ได้เข้าร่วมการแข่งขันนะครับเป็นกำลังใจให้แล้วก็หวังว่าจะพัฒนาจะต่อยอดพัฒนาตนเองต่อไปเรื่อยๆนะครับวันนี้ผู้ชนะอาจจะมีแค่คนเดียวนะครับผู้ชนะก็อย่าเหลิงต้องพัฒนาตัวเองต่อไปผู้แพ้ก็อาจจะเป็นคนหมู่มากนะเพราะว่าเรามาแข่งกันเยอะนะครับก็ช่วยกันนะครับอย่าท้อนะครับยกตัวอย่างให้ฟังเมื่อสักครู่นะครับไม่ทราบผมก็ไม่ทราบนะว่าน้องคนสุดท้ายที่มาจากสวนกุหลาบเนี่ยจะได้ตำแหน่งอะไรนะแต่สิ่งที่ผมได้เห็นในตัวน้องคือความพยายามอย่างต่อเนื่องนะครับและนี่คือสิ่งที่ผมคิดว่าสำคัญที่สุดที่ในการแข่งขันแต่ละครั้งคือทุกครั้งเราแข่งเราจะประสบความสำเร็จหรือไม่ประสบความสำเร็จเราเติบโตแล้วแข่งขันไม่รู้แหละว่าผลจะเป็นยังไงแต่เราไม่หยุดที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองนะครับเป็นกำลังใจให้กับทุกท่านนะครับวันนี้ต้องขอบคุณนะครับทางสมาคมที่ได้กรุณาให้เกียรติทางกระทรวงนะครับสุดท้ายนี้ครับผมขอบคุณทางสมาคมพูดภาษาอังกฤษแห่งประเทศไทยคณะกรรมการผู้ทรงคุณวุฒิและทุกฝ่ายที่มีส่วนเกี่ยวข้องในการจัดการแข่งขันวันนี้นะครับผมขอบคุณคุณครูคณาจารย์ผู้ปกครองและสถานศึกษาทุกแห่งที่เป็นกำลังสำคัญในการสนับสนุนกิจกรรมครั้งนี้นะครับแล้วก็ขอให้ทุกท่านประสบความสำเร็จในลำดับต่อไปนะครับขอบคุณครับ
Thank you very much, Mr. Thank you for your very cheerful speech, and I believe that all the contestants were really delighted with that. We would like you to help on the stage to presenting the certificate to our contestants. May I invite Dr. Shaviwan Puraniti up on the stage again to presenting the presents to our contestants. Person, คุณชวันวิทย์เชื้อผู้ดี from สวนกุหลาบวิทยาลัย School. Please give him a round of applause. Next, may I invite Queen Siripun Prakai Suwan up on the stage. Next, may I invite Kun Tanchanok Nisat up on the stage. Next person we are invited สุขวัญ กาญจนกิจ from ตรีมอุดมศึกษา School ช่วยขึ้นทางขวาของเวทีนะคะ Next, may I invite Yamayok Rodney Voicens from Wari Chiang Mai School up on the stage. Next person, may I invite Rinrada Asawakon Pradip from St. Joseph Convent School up on the stage. Last but not least, may I invite Ratnatnari Tantiwat from Nakhon Sawan School up on the stage. Thank you very much. Thank you very much คุณสิริพงษ์ and Dr. ชลีวัน
ประกาศก่อน
All right, guys, it's finally time to announce the winner. But once again, really proud of every one of you. So for the result, first runner-up is Miss Rinrada from St. Joseph Convent School.
มาจากเชียงใหม่เลยนะใช่ไหมเฮ้ยเซนเจเซ่อยู่ตรงนี้
Now for the winner of this year competition,
คอนเวนต์ใช่ใช่
Mr.
ถึงกลับมิสเตอร์
Chawanwik from Swaziland.
Thank you very much, Mary. And for now, may I invite คุณสิริพงษ์ and Dr. ชลีวัน up on the stage again to present the prizings to the winners. คุณปรินรดา อัศวพรประดิษฐ์ from St. Joseph Convent School.
วิ่งมาวิ่งมาเดินวิ่งมาผิดอันอันใหญ่
Sorry, didn't make the wrong things. So she's the first runner-up, right?
ที่สอง
ขออนุญาตขยับทางซ้ายตัวเองนะครับพอครับผมได้ครับพี่หลีชิดเลยขออนุญาตนะครับเดินขึ้นหน้าไปนิดนึงนะครับครับผมครับพร้อมนะครับวางตรงกลางไว้นะครับหันดอกไม้ออกมาพร้อมครับครับ
May I invite คุณสิริภูมิ ประภัยสุวรรณ from สวนกุหลาบวิทยาลัยนนทบุรี up on the stage. Please take a
ยืนโล่
And please give a big round of applause to Chawanwik Cherpudi from สวนกุหลาบวิทยาลัย School as the winner. The winner will get the trophy and the cash for 10,000 baht, and he will be the representative from Thailand to join the public speaking international round in the United Kingdom in May. So congratulations to all of you and all of the contestants too. เดี๋ยวอยู่บน อเชิญคณะกรรมการจาก ESU ค่ะแล้วก็คณะกรรมการขึ้นถ่ายรูปด้วยนะคะ
ขอช็อตนึงนะครับขออนุญาตนะครับมองตรงกลางนะครับ
All the judges up on the stage.
ครับ
And at the meantime, may I also invite all the contestants นะคะ
ทุกท่านมองกล้องนะค
น้
รับ
องๆอาจจะอยู่ข้างล่าง น้องๆอยู่ข้างล่างค่ะ
อีกครั้งนะครับ
สักครู่นะครับสักครู่นะครับสักครู่นะครับ
เดี๋ยวครับทุกท่านมองกล้องไว้ก่อนนะครับ ทุกท่านมองกล้องไว้ก่อนนะครับ
So as we wrap up today's event, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for being with us today. I hope you had a wonderful experience and enjoyed the competition as much as I do.
บอกดังๆเดี๋ยวพูด
ตามไปถ่ายด้วยกัน
พูดสิไม่เขาถ่ายกันตรงเนี้ยตรงเวทีได้ครับได้ครับ
หลายกล้องนะครับ
พร้อมนะคะ
นิ่งๆไว้ก่อนนะครับ
สักครู่นะครับ
แป๊บนึงนะครับครับอีกครั้งนะครับผมครับอีกทีหนึงครับผมขอบคุณครับ
Thank you very much and คุณลลิวันกันสกัสรี please remain on the stage as well as all of the winners will get the trophy and then 10,000 baht.
ไอ้ที่หนึ่งอยู่กลางวินเนอร์อยู่กลางอ่ะ
เชิญเลยค่ะ
แค่นี้นะ
President
น้องเทนโยชิดเข้าไปหน่อยโอเค
สักครู่นะ
คุณลลิวัน and คุณสิริพงษ์ please remain on the stage.
ขอให้ช่วย
มองตรงกลางนะครับมองตรงกลางนะครับขออนุญาตครับ
ครับ thank you ครับ
Thank you very much everyone and คุณสิริพงษ์ and Dr. Laliwan please remain on the stage. The 25th years of collaborations between this Thailand public speaking
มองตรงกลางไว้นะครับ
So it has been 25 years and we hopefully it will be many more. And as a wrap up for today's event, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude for each of you for being with us today. I hope you had a wonderful experience and enjoyed the competition.
ขยับนิดเดียวนะครับ
เดินหน้ามาครับ
พอแล้วครับพอแล้วโอเคครับ
แล้วชิดกันครับตัวชิดกันโอเคครับ
ครับดีครับผมครับพร้อมครับดีครับผมขอบคุณครับครับ
คนอ่ะ7 คน
โอเคครับขออนุญาตขยับทางขวาตัวเองนิดเดียวเองนะครับขอครับผมได้แล้วครับต่อครับอีกครั้งนะครับผม
ป้ายเบี้ยวป้ายเบี้ยว
ป้ายเอียงครับป้ายตรงนิดนึงโอเคครับเอียงโล่นิดนึงนะครับโล่ในมือเอียงลงนิดนึงโอเคครับผมครับพร้อมนะครับผม1 2ครับ
คุณชิดหน่อยครับชิดหน่อยครับคุณผู้ชายชิดเข้ามาหน่อยโอเค
Right now, I feel really overwhelmed by the amount of emotions because I really don't know what to do, but because I have planned many things, and this competition really makes me have to think a lot about my own circumstances. But to be sure, there's only one thing that I'm sure of, that I will surely be able to come back even stronger, improve to the international stage, and I will be the representation of Thailand.
Thank you ภาษาไทย
ครับตอนนี้ผมรู้สึกอารมณ์แปรปรวนไปหมดเลยครับผมไม่รู้ว่าจะเริ่มจากจุดไหนดีแต่ว่าก็พูดตรงๆเลยครับว่าจากที่ผมได้รับรู้แล้วครับว่าผมเป็นตัวแทนประเทศแล้วผมเชื่อมั่นว่าผมจะสามารถพัฒนาตัวเองพอที่จะโชว์ศักยภาพของคนไทยให้เป็นตัวแทนประเทศที่คนไทยต้องการในจริงๆ
ขอบคุณครับยินดีกับน้องด้วยครับที่สอง
I am running out of words because I am speechless right now, but what I really want to say is thank you for the school, my teachers, my families who have always been very supportive, and thank you to every one of you that have been kind to me, that you guys have always smiled to me. It makes me a lot relief when I got on the stage. ค่ะก็ขอบคุณทุกคนมากๆเลยค่ะที่แบบมาช่วยsupport หนูตลอดเวลาแล้วก็ขอบคุณคุณพ่อคุณแม่คุณครูแล้วก็คุณยายพี่สาวทุกคนแล้วก็ที่โรงเรียนที่ support หนูด้วยค่ะก็I would like to congrats you, and you really deserve it. It was great, and all of the contestants as well. You guys did really great, and I'm impressed. So maybe we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Very grateful for the opportunity to be here. Very thankful for my teachers, my parents, and all of you guys as well for competing with me. And I know what I'll be doing for the summer. I'll be practicing, getting better, and try to become stronger. ขอบคุณทุกคนที่สนับสนุนมาทำเดี๋ยวจะกลับมาแล้วก็อีกเรื่องครับ
ครับยินดีกับน้องทุกคนเลยนะครับ